What if your messy space is talking to you? What if the piles, clutter, overflowing closets are not a sign that you're lazy, but messages from a deeper part of your psyche that's trying to get your attention? Most people think clutter is about not being organized, but it's not. Clutter is psychology, emotion, and memory. And clutter is a mirror, a powerful one, reflecting what your mind, body, energy field, and even your spirit are holding on to. Today, we are going to explore the real root causes of clutter that most people never talk about, the hidden beliefs that create disorganization, and how you can finally break free of them. Hi everyone, I'm Esther Bartkiw. For over 21 years, I've been helping people clear the noise and clutter inside of them so that they can transform their day-to-day reality into a life that they desire. If you enjoy deep, personal, and spiritual growth content that actually helps you shift your life, please hit the like button. All right, beauties, let's go. Why can't some people get organized? What is the hidden psychology behind clutter? The answer has nothing to do with motivation or adopting a just do it mentality. Research shows that clutter directly affects your cognitive load, increases stress hormones, and reduces your ability to plan and take decisive action. So you're not avoiding cleaning. Your brain is actually overwhelmed by the visual noise of all the clutter around you. I have noticed this myself. If my place gets messy, usually with piles of papers, I feel awful and icky. But once I create order again, I feel energized and ready to go. Do you ever feel the same? Leave me a comment in the boxes below. But why do some people constantly live in clutter while others don't? There are three deep psychological root causes that most people don't realize are driving their disorganization. Root cause number one, emotional overwhelm and freeze response. When life becomes emotionally heavy, the nervous system often slips into freeze mode, the same biological response triggered by trauma or chronic stress. Cleaning requires decision-making. Decision-making requires energy, and overwhelm shuts that energy down, so the clutter grows. Not because you don't care, but because your system is trying to self-protect. Many studies link clutter to anxiety, depression, and overstimulation, and this creates a cycle. The clutter overwhelms you. The overwhelm creates more clutter. Now, if this resonates, your messy space is not a flaw. It's a signal that your emotional load is too heavy and your system needs care. Root cause number two, identity attachment and object-based memory. We don't just keep objects because we like them. We keep them because they anchor memories, identities, or past versions of ourselves. Psychologists call this object constancy, which is using physical objects to feel connected to the past, to loved ones, or even to different versions of yourself that you might be afraid to lose. That's why letting go feels scary. It's not about the item, it's about who or what you fear losing if the item is gone. This is one of the main root causes behind statements like, I might need it one day. This reminds me of my mom. This belonged to my first love. I feel so guilty getting rid of this. Or if I let this go, will I forget? You're not attached to the thing, you are attached to the story. Now, root cause number three, core beliefs that keep you disorganized. And this is my domain on how I help people. You would be shocked how many people hold subconscious beliefs like, I don't deserve a beautiful, ordered space. Chaos is familiar, order is scary. If my house is messy, I can stay invisible and safe. I'm not capable of maintaining order. Or, everything good disappears anyhow, so why bother? These beliefs often form in childhood, especially in homes where inconsistency, neglect, or emotional chaos were normal. For many adults, clutter becomes a shield, a buffer, even a comfort zone. When we clear clutter, these beliefs surface, which is why some people sabotage their own attempts to get organized. Now, let's talk about the perceived benefits of disorganization, because this is the part that nobody talks about. Clutter provides psychological benefits, even if they are not healthy ones. So here are a few examples. Clutter can provide emotional safety. A cluttered space feels less vulnerable. You don't have to invite people over. You don't have to be seen. Clutter allows you to avoid hard emotions because letting go brings up grief, guilt, nostalgia, fear of change. Clutter lets you delay feeling those feelings. Clutter gives you the illusion of abundance. Some people cling to objects because they grew up with scarcity, and having stuff feels like having security. I noticed this to be true with my mother and my aunties, people of their generation, holding on to items and having stuff because they grew up with very little. Perhaps you notice that as well with older members in your family. Clutter gives you identity anchors. An item from a past relationship or some time in your life feels like a portal to who you were or who you think you should be. These perceived benefits keep you stuck until you understand them. I want to share with you an example about clutter from my client history. Years ago, I worked with a young man in his early 30s. He was a successful engineer on paper, but in his words, my health, my dating life, confidence, and home are all a mess. He felt invisible at work, too unsure of himself to ask for a raise, and too self-conscious to ask a woman out on a date. His home was filled with clutter, and every night he came back to that environment to soothe the stress of his day, of not speaking his truth, not living as the man he knew he could be, and he soothed the only way he knew how: junk food and alcohol. When we began working together, I could see very clearly that the clutter was not the root problem, it was a symptom. The real issue was a deep collapse of self-worth that started in a painful childhood where nothing he did was ever good enough. So before touching the clutter, we focused on developing his inner confidence, clearing the emotional charge from all his past memories, and dissolving the beliefs that told him he wasn't capable, wasn't deserving, and wasn't allowed to take up space. And as that inner foundation of confidence strengthened, every other area of his life slowly began shifting. We worked together for about 1.5 years, and I'll never forget one particular day when he emailed me about 2 days after a session and wrote, "Wow, something really shifted this week because I came home and cleaned my entire apartment and it feels so good." I wrote him back and I said, "Your outer reality is finally beginning to match the inner environment that we've been cultivating all these months. This is what alignment feels like." So let's move on to how clutter affects your mind, body, spirit, and the energy of your home. Because clutter is not neutral. Mentally, it creates cognitive stress, reduces focus, increases procrastination, and can trigger feelings of failure. Emotionally, you are constantly reminded of unfinished business. Your nervous system never fully relaxes. You feel anxious because you know you should clean, but you don't. Physically, studies show that clutter raises cortisol, that is your stress hormone, and drains energy. Spiritually, your home is an energetic container. When objects hold old memories, trauma, or outdated identities, they stagnate your field. And the energy of your home? Well, cluttered homes feel dense, heavy, loud, and chaotic. Your home can't breathe, and energetically, neither can you. So how do you know that clutter has become a problem when it's more than just a little bit of mess? Well, clutter becomes a real issue when you avoid inviting people over because of shame. Your stuff prevents you from moving freely in your home. When your to-do list is always clean up, but the cleanup never happens. When you're emotionally attached to objects in a way that feels heavy. And when your home drains you instead of nourishing you. Clutter is a problem when you feel overwhelmed the moment you walk inside the door. Again, this video is not for hoarders or for those with physical limitations and cannot clean the clutter. This video is for people who feel stuck, overwhelmed, or emotionally tied to their clutter. So what is your messy space trying to tell you? Because it is trying to tell you something. Your clutter is saying you're carrying too much. You haven't processed something emotionally that's happened in your life. You're afraid to step into a new version of yourself. You're holding on to the past. You don't feel safe to expand. You don't feel deserving of beauty. Your messy space is a messenger, not a problem. And here are 5 tips to start healing the psychology behind your clutter. Number 1, address the emotional root first. You can ask yourself, what am I afraid will happen if I let this go? You'll get some real answers. Number 2, choose one emotionally charged object to release. Not a room, not a closet, one symbolic item. Letting go of it will shift the entire energy field. Number 3, name the belief that keeps your clutter alive. Is it, I don't deserve better? I'll lose this memory? I'm afraid to grow? Naming the belief dissolves half of its power instantly. Number 4, work in micro wins, not in rooms. So clear the clutter on one surface, one drawer, one corner. Each micro win teaches your nervous system that it is safe to release. Number 5, if you hire someone to help you clean the clutter, still do the inner work. A cleaning service can declutter your space, but only you can declutter the beliefs that created that mess. This is how you prevent the cycle from repeating again. It's important for me to stress to you that if you are disorganized and your space is cluttered, that you are not broken and you're not lazy. Your space became cluttered for a reason, legitimate reasons. And when you understand those reasons, change becomes not only possible, it becomes very natural. You can take back your space, take back your energy, and you can take back your life. Are you ready to become organized, free from clutter in your mind, your body, your energy field, and your home? Imagine what becomes possible when you clear your space, release the past, and raise your vibration. I can help you with the inner belief work so that your transformation lasts. Check out my session options below. And if we haven't worked together before you sign up, send me an email so we can explore your best next step. Oh, and check out the video popping up on your screen. YouTube and I picked it out just for you.